Nordern quits. Now, before getting into this, we have reacted to a bunch of Nordern's content. I thoroughly enjoyed his War Thunder series, and I thought it was only right to look at kind of what's going on in regards to his content, because honestly, I think he does a lot of good work. He does a lot of great work, and I would, especially with how much I've reacted to his content, I want to take a look and see what exactly is going on, and if there's any way I can help signal boost the message. So, without further ado, dive into it.
Hello there. So this is going to be a very rambly and lengthy thing, since it's not as heavily edited as other content that you might be familiar from me. Then I'm reading off some notes that I have and trying to remember everything in between and remembering what I've actually mentioned and then jumping ahead and back and forth and whatnot. And this is take 20 or something of this, so
I feel that.
Forgive me. I'll be doing my best here. I'll drink some beer and I might get a bit better. Essentially, the main thing is that I am going to step away from making content full time because it's not going to be paying the bills any much longer.
Right.
I've already disappeared for a little bit, sort of just trying to take a step back and relax. Turns out I don't know how to, since it's been a very long time of burnout and stress. A little bit, to mention that a bit more later. So that's one thing, but mainly I got a job offer for a pretty good or well-paying job as a workshop technician, doing, mechanical shit and stuff that I've been sort of wanting to do for a very long time. Actually going to be getting some use out of my degree, which is going to be great.
Awesome. Good stuff.
But primarily that's going to be a stable income with a structure in my day, which turns out that I'm dog shit at structuring my own day early.
I feel that, dude. I feel that. The past week, I have gone from being up until like 10 a.m. and sleeping through the afternoon to it is currently noon where I'm at. And I'm like, I've been up for like 4 hours at this point. But my life is always kind of like chaotic. And sure, I benefit from structures. I get where he's absolutely coming from. And do people do benefit from structures? Doing what I do is my actual dream job. Like, it's more than reacting, right? But talking to people around the world, learning different things around the world, right? I had a conversation recently where I was just like, one day when Kip podcast happens, right? I'm going to go talk to John British, right? John British person. I'm going to be like, so what's your opinion on Manchester United, right? And then I'm going to watch the war ensue, especially if there is John British and John British too, right? Like, the things like that fascinate me. So I'm kind of in a position where, as long as I do the work, as long as I put out that 2 to 3 video a day quota, and as long as I'm really watching videos that people want to watch, right? I react to a number of things. Some do very well. Some of them don't really do anything. And part of that probably is Vtuber associating with some of the topics that I talk about. Part of that is probably just, the algorithm boxing a channel into thing, right? But I totally get where he's coming from. And I do have a buyout price as well, right? I know what I make per year. And if a company were to come along and offer me a position, say, Kip, we're going to offer you $60,000 a year for benefits, and we need your consultation experience for your random assortment of things. Yeah, I have a buyout price. I'm not opposed to saying that. And this is the thing as well, where I keep saying we need to make sure we're supporting the creators who are worth it. We also, the other side of that is we need to make sure that we're respecting people if they have another offer and it works better for them. I miss Dust Bullshit's content, right? I miss Gmod Idiot Box. I hear he went on to edit for someone else, and it's, I can miss it. I can miss Purple Eyes WTF. That one's a special case because he deleted his entire channel on accident. And I've said, if he's doing a project and he needs some signal boosting, I'm more than happy to, because I enjoyed his content. Like, if people move on, it's less, sure, you can lament that they're gone, but making sure that you understand and respect their decision and really wish them the best, right? Nordern's funny guy to watch. I'm loving watching his stuff, right? Going through his Arma 3 series, it's really fun. But this sounds like this is going to add some needed structure that he feels he needs. It utilizes his degree, which he literally went to school for, and clearly it's a stable income. You can't fault anyone for that.
Morning me is a dickhead and turns off all his alarms, and afternoon me then hates myself the rest of the day.
Yeah,
that's been my sort of day-to-day for a very long time. So it's honestly going to be good to try and steer away a little bit from that and just have some outwards pressure, then instead steer my day and, wake up in the morning go to work, come back home from work, and then actually don't have to sit and stress over the fact that I can't pay all my bills every month, or I'm struggling. I have to sort of go and take money from my savings, my long-term savings, money that isn't mine, actually. I owe that to my parents. They lent me some money some time ago, quite a lot. It's a sizable sum of money to cover a tax fuck up that I had. Turns out if you don't pay tax, then you then get the after tax thing, or essentially the back pay. That ends up being a lot of money. So we've gotten over that, but I don't really have savings to dig into anymore. It's essentially it. So having a stable income that I'm going to be getting every month from my day job is going to be fantastic. I just have to find out how to relax, but that's something I'll figure out.
As someone who can't relax anymore, dude, I feel this. I feel this is one of those things that a lot of people will brush off. You know, come on now, just relax a little bit. Define relax. Just sit there and, you know, think of nothing, or in my case, contemplate the void. The void demands tacos. Like, sorry, I just had a Warframeism, just having the murmur talk to me. Don't worry about that. Everything's fine. But like, there is a certain part where everything becomes either hyper optimized, hyper streamlined. There is a point where even if you don't have optimization or streamlined, that you feel like you're not doing enough with your day. It's why I struggle across so many channels, right? I got this channel. I got the gaming channel, which is VODs. We just finished Destiny 2 Edge of Fate last night, and I had some choice words for certain parts of that. I did not like the design and certain aspects of how the game was designed. But, and I always force myself, like, I want to do more than just React content. And I feel like I could always be doing more. And it generally goes to the point that I crash and burn quite literally, right? How many crash outs have I had? Sure. Part of it is, dude, you're not like, you're just stressed, right? Just chill, right? But I understand when people say that they can't relax, or they talk about being unable to relax and they need to find it. As someone who suffers from that myself, I understand that. I was actually related to the subject, I promise. Was watching Duel Monsters, because there's a 24/7 stream of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters on YouTube right now. And I've been watching it, and, you know, formative years, right, watching it. I've just realized that I have the mannerisms of Seto Kaiba. I look at business in the exact same way, where I'm very black and white. I make disclosures. I'm very thick-headed, boneheaded in a lot of ways. I have that, what did somebody say? I have that gab where I can just talk, right? And sometimes people will listen, right? So knowing that that's kind of what I did in formative years, kind of what I grew up watching, it makes sense now that I view everything as work and also tie my value to my work. And I think that more people need to understand that it is okay to relax. It is okay to take a minute. It is okay to take a bit of time for yourself. And this is pandemic level, right? Like, this is, everyone has these issues. So I understand this from a very special perspective.
Yeah, content creation is not going to be my main focus.
Right.
But I'm not quitting entirely. I'll be doing something on the side every now and then.
Right.
Maybe I might be more efficient than before when I'm actually getting back on my feet or not. We'll see. So yeah, the main reason why stepping back is going to be good for me, though, is because of the burnout. I've been realizing now in the past week that, hey, I am actually severely burnt out, and it's been progressing negatively for a year, 2 years maybe. 2023 was a really good year. I made a decent amount of money. I put, thankfully, a lot of that in savings, in the intent of paying back with the money I owe my parents. That hasn't turned out to be possible yet, but oh well. But thankfully I did that, because 2024 and 2025 have been absolutely dog shit. 25 has been worse than the year before, by some margin. And the income or statistics or accounting is not done yet. It lags behind a few months or whatnot, but it's not looking good. I'll put some screenshots.
There's a plateauing effect, and I've kind of noticed. It's like the first 50,000 subs I got went pretty quickly, and I've kind of faltered. Don't get me wrong. I've kind of had this crisis of identity, even in regards to certain content, what I want to do in terms of content, right? I've noticed a plateauing effect, And even then, like I was talking just before we started this, like my numbers are up, my metrics are up, but income is down. And that, I don't know really what to make of that. It also might just be because summer people outside, because we do know that January is, not that it's January right now, right? But January is a pretty dead month for creators, right? You have the November, December holiday boom, and then you go into January, and even if you're out putting more videos, your revenue is just down. I mean, this is the things that, you know, CEOs and big corporations deal with. They have to deal with market trends, right? And that's kind of why I enjoy what I do in a lot of capacity. Like, I get to live my quote unquote Seto Kaiba dream of being a CEO, of just showing up and doing cool things. That's why I'm planning to go down to Tulsa at the end of the year. I got to go to Oklahoma twice this year because there's a convention and a concert that I'm going to go down there and see. But like, I get this. I felt like there's been a plateauing effect. I will also posit, is this plateauing effect necessarily that someone's content is doing bad? Or is it because of YouTube's worsening policies and double standards, right? I think that it's a Gordian knot of issues when we look at reasons why viewership could be stagnating and or going down. I think there's a lot that goes into a situation like this.
Of the income before tax and before expenses here, like in Norwegian kroner, so divided by 10, you get roughly US dollars or euro, depending on how close to the ruble the kroner decides to be that day. Couple that with the fact that I do live in Norway, which I would argue is the best country to live in the world. But it is expensive. So my mortgage has been going up significantly. Cost of everything, as I'm sure most of you are aware, has gone up. That, and then having a unreliable and changing income from month to month.
So since he's showing his creator studio, I'll show my creator studio. Because this is information that I'm just like, whatever. I'm more than happy to share it. This is kind of where I'm at. I mean, viewership is up, watch time up. These have been going down steadily. I'm sure if I actually went to my analytics, it would show it going down. This has kind of been going down as well, but it's mostly because I've been reacting to nothing but Team Fortress 2 for the past like 2 weeks, right? This man is a lot larger than I am, right? And we're getting roughly about the same amount of viewers. I think it's actually really interesting to look at the overlap, though. This is actually really fascinating to look at. I love metrics and numbers and stuff. The reason I think I get away with as much as I do is because I do daily content, right? Like, we can go to my channel. How many videos do I have at this point? Let's go to here. Let's go channel. Well, we're gonna go back to YouTube and then we'll go channel. We'll go channel, and then I have 1.6K videos, even with redacting a bunch. Like, I'm at the 1.6K, and I cover a myriad of topics. I still don't know why the Horus on the Russian internet one did well. My favorite comment from that was Kip has summoned the Russians. That was really funny. I loved that, actually. And I mean, we kind of know my ballpark, right? I mean, a good video does about 10K. You know, 8K shoe on head, right? You know, 3K is kind of like average-ish, right? And I have my stinkers, which get like 200 views, right? Nordern, if I can spell his name correctly. If we go there, I mean, like, he's getting significantly more views than I do, but it's also balanced out by his upload schedule. This goes without saying, but when you edit a work, when you put time into it, it's just going to take that much more time, right? We look at Badger content, right? Russian Badger, right? How long does it take for him to make videos? How long is it between each video? And you look at that and you come to the conclusion, like, sure, he gets, 13 million. That was a really good video. The fact that only got 2.9 is kind of wild to me. Like, but that's also balanced out by taking, 6 months per video? And that's not meant as a derogatory anything at Badger. He makes good content. And there's a cost-benefit analysis of making good content and kind of doing what I do, or say Moist Critical does when he does, like, you know, daily uploads, right? And I think that's where we start getting into, you know, the quote unquote what is defined as lazy content, what is ruining YouTube. And I think that the slop is ruining YouTube more than anything. It's been very fascinating to watch my parents. They're watching the funny recycled content, like pet videos, right? Where it just shows like TikToks all in succession with the occasional anchor telling you to subscribe, and I'm like, this is slop. This is bad. This is low effort, right? But it gets plenty of views because funny pets and stuff, right? And I think that a lot of us have gotten on a high horse, and, you know, to define what is and isn't lazy content. YouTube shouldn't define what is and isn't lazy. If I'm being honest, you should. You, as the viewer watching this, engaging with this, chatting with this, commenting on this, whether it's my video, whether it's Nordern's video, whether it's Badger's video, right? Like, you should be defining what your content you want to see. That's the point of YouTube, right? If you want to watch Nordern content, YouTube needs to push you Nordern's content, right? If you don't want to see content, and I've run into this, right? Like, if you don't want to see content and you say, don't recommend me this, YouTube shouldn't recommend you that. You find value in things. There's people who find value in what I do. And it's been very fascinating to watch people who come into my stream all the time. Do they stay? No, not necessarily. But streaming is an inherently different thing, right? When I stream over on the Purple app, I can't tell you how many people I've had come in and who've said, hey, Kip, I've watched your stuff for a while. Love your Fat Electrician reactions. Or, hey, Kip, you know, love your reactions. I found Maxor through you. I found Badger through you. Thanks for your stuff. And I think there's something special about that. In a day and age where farming retention metrics is key, right? And I'm sure Nordern can talk to you more than I can about retention metrics. We both have commentary on it. I think there's something special about kind of being that comfort streamer for people, kind of just being that comfort person for people to just, you know, put out work to hit as many people as you can. Obviously, I'm effectively brute forcing the algorithm, but to just be that person who's there. But unfortunately, that doesn't always pay the bills. And so thus, we have a video like this. It's really fascinating to see how we get similar viewership. My watch time is up only because of the frequency I upload with, and subscribers. I think that mostly has to do with, I guarantee you, if when there's a War Thunder update, when there's a what do you call it? There's a new Arma update. He's gonna see a spike in viewership because that's just what happens. There's a lot that I can say, and I'm really derailing this in a lot of aspects, but I feel this is an important video that needs to really be talked about. Yakoni Altar, thanks for the subs. I will get to your comments when I can. Like, there's something... This video I wanted to make sure I reacted to. It's going to get like 200 views, right? And that's fine. I feel that, especially because I've reacted to his content, and I find that I really like what he does and think he's a good... I don't know the dude personally, right? But I think he's a good person. I think he's a good creator. I want to make sure I'm signal boosting what I can. Hi, go to his content, literally in the description, channel and video, as always. And that's what I do. I don't like reacting to everybody, but I like reacting to really cool people.
Oh, basically, really, every time I go and look into the YouTube
it's depressing.
Analytics stats page, it changes. It changes depending on the day or whatever, how many views and whatnot, and whatever fuck or YouTube or Google decides to do when it comes to ads, and ad blockers and whatnot. Like, that's been up and down, up and down, up and down, but in general, the trend has been going downwards.
Yeah.
So yeah, meaning that when I got the job offer, I took that almost immediately.
Which is fair.
Thank you. That's a good out. I think out of this sort of spiral that I found myself in. Yeah, and that YouTube revenue or good AdSense is the main source of income for me.
I have commentaries on AdSense. I have commentaries on how I lost an entire month of pay, because if you try to change a specific thing in your AdSense because the button is very misleading, you just lose out like on a whole month of AdSense until that gets fixed. I have a lot of things to say about AdSense, very few of them good.
But it has been more and more important. The other ones, that being Twitch, so Twitch subs bits, Patreons, and affiliate link, Gaijin affiliate link usage has been equally as important together. And I massive thanks to you, especially those of you on Patreon who joined after the my comment on the previous video saying that my financials are not doing very great. I'm really grateful for you because you gave me some hope that things were going to be able to work out, because you joined in a big batch just after that. So again, thank you. But then on the other side of this, I'm really bad at driving my viewership or monetizing the rest of my viewership. For example,
dude, I feel that. How many of you know I have a Patreon? I don't push it. Oh my god. Is it Wolf? Wolf tells me consistently, Kip, push your Patreon. And you start to see why sponsorships and stuff are so important to people. You wonder why Fat Electrician pushes it. You wonder why other people push it, right? Why they have sponsorships in the video. And it's because it supplements the volatility of AdSense, of ad revenue. It makes it how do I write it? It augments your income in a stable way. I had a sponsor reach out recently, but I was so off this week. I was just so not into it, and I totally missed it. And I messaged them back and I apologized. I said, hey, I was actually looking forward to it. It was a really cool company, and I just told them like, hey, I can't do the thing, but I don't push it because it's the same reason I don't paywall reactions. I've considered it, but I'm also just like, it's always, why would you private a reaction? Oh, to drive up monetization, to drive up, like, no, that feels disingenuous to me. I have debated on channel memberships. I think you can get like fun little emotes, like emojis. That, if I can upload emojis, sure, I'll open up channel memberships for like $1 a month or something like that. But like, I hate marketing myself just because, I don't know. We've all seen the clips of like, you don't have $5 for a sub, or we've seen the clips of something overpriced cookies, right? Look, your time and your money is important to you, especially in a day and age where you have to look at getting a loan to get eggs. Let's be real, right? Your time and your money are your own. But I think the other half of that conversation comes down to people acknowledging and understanding that and still just being like, shut up and take my $5. I think there's two sides to that argument.
But I completely forgot until now that, hey, I have a merch store. Haven't sold anything in a month.
Yeah, that's why
I'm going to take it down. In the beginning on the Patreon post that I sent out earlier, some weeks ago, and now really, I said that I was going to leave it up because it's breaking even. I've realized, and looking at it, it has broken even, but it isn't anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to renew it, so that's going to run until the subscription for Squarespace runs out, and then that's going to be it there.
Right.
But that's my sort of own fault. It turns out that I'm not really actually very good at this.
I would beg to differ. I would beg to differ personally. I think that Nordern does a lot with his content. I think that he encapsulates the ability to have fun. I think that he showcases the ability to kind of be smart with each other, right? Casual, just, European infighting, right? But I mean, it's all in good faith and fun. And a lot of people find value in his content. I think that a lot of us creators really fall into our greatest critics being ourselves. I'll criticize myself for not having enough hour-long videos in a day when that's not realistic. And in fact, I've actually had a couple health complications. Nothing super serious, just annoying, right? Because I sit at my desk too long. Hence why at this point, I'm going to Oklahoma this year. I'm going to go to Germany next year. That's my plan. That's what I plan to do. And to do other things with my life, because I've been doing this for 3 years. And sure, I've had my burnouts, had a couple crash outs, but this really is something that I feel passionate about. And sometimes it's not all about the metrics. This video gets 200 views. At least 200 people watched this and engaged with it. And at least it was me trying my best to say, hey, Nordern, you really do a good job. And you shouldn't feel bad in any way, shape, or form.
Talk shit and have fun, but when it comes to all of this sort of content creation and socials around this and sort of marketing stuff, I am not very good at for this. I'm not very good at it. I'm too scatterbrained, too ADHD to actually focus on it and put the effort that is required into it, especially when I am my own boss, which is great, but also again, mourning me is a dickhead. So that's I don't think this has been really the right industry or job for me.
I think that's an important understanding, though, right? Like, let's say your entire family is, silver spoon in mouth. Son, you're going to be the next head of this family. You're going to take over our family business. We're overseeing insert whatever industry here. We have a lot of buildings. We have a lot of facilities. You're going to take that over. And then you look at it and you go, Dad, I don't want to do that. I want to be a plumber. Personally, I like plumbing. I think that, I think it's definitely something that's overlooked. I think that, and then, insert commentary, blue collar versus white collar, bias towards white collar over the past 50 some odd years, right? Like commentaries there. Sure, there's going to be some pressure, but at the same time, I think half the battle is understanding, do you like what you do or not? When my issue, I need to watch Lewis Black. I need to watch his Root of All Evil special now at this point. When it always comes back to money, and the issues with content being money and metrics, like then that's the problem. This seems like a really silly problem to have. Like, sure, I like money, right? The Costco meme, but understanding that I don't actually hate what I do. I actually rather enjoy what I do. I, start to get a little stressed when I put out too much work in a week in regards to like reactions and stuff. But like, it's important to understand that this is kind of what I want to do. With Nordern, he understands that this is not something he necessarily wants to do, at least necessarily he wants to do full time. And that's important in terms of directing your life. Because do you buy $3,000 of outboard microphone equipment? I still have to buy like $2,000 of microphone equipment. I still have to go get a bunch of audio software and stuff, but that's the business I'm in, and there's things I want to do with it. There's projects I haven't told anyone about that I want to do yet, and I'm trying to figure out how to make them happen behind the scenes. It helps to direct your life.
All charts, graphs, and numbers are turning downwards. And on a note as well, I have been diagnosed with ADHD. It's been mentioned in a few videos before as well. And I also started medication for it, which
nice.
I mean, it seems promising that I might be able to use that and take advantage of the medication and make that work very well. But it's still early days, so I don't know. We'll have to see. But
you can play that by ear.
It does help explain why I'm struggling so much getting stuff done and focusing on a task that I want to do. Unless I really have this burning passion for it, it's difficult to get it done. Like, for example, just this fucking video here telling you, hey, by the way, I quit, has taken weeks to get around to doing. Yeah. And this is not take one. Let's put it out.
Yako sent me a build of Necros in Warframe, and I still have yet to watch it. Because I'm like, that was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. To which Warframe chat in my server would be, Kip, that was like 3 months ago. And I blink and I go, surely not. No, it hasn't been like 3 months. Because my brain doesn't actually comprehend time. I want to find this Chronomancer. I just want to have a talk, okay? We're going to have a nice, long chat, Mr. Chronomancer.
Way. So, yeah, maybe things will be more efficient, and I might make more content once I actually manage to figure these issues out, but we'll see. My hopes have been crushed for years now, so I'm not going to keep them up too high. But again, we'll see.
Right.
Actually, that reminds me that the constant crush of posting a video that is longer and I dare say better, I really enjoyed making, I think it's a lot better for you to be like, this is doing okay, it's doing as per usual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Thanks. That wasn't worth it, all the effort I put into it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Not me when I do like a 3-hour reaction and it gets like 2 views and I'm just like, I yapped for way too long.
That's whatever. So for going forwards, what you're going to be seeing from me is not a lot, at least not until the end of the summer. That's around when I'll probably start going back into some stuff. We'll see. It depends how much the new job is going to take out of me. We'll see about that. But I'm not going to be planning or thinking about doing any streaming or anything until then.
Right.
At that point, maybe I'll stream when I'm playing games with the others, guys and guyettes. but we'll see. And editing, I'll do when I feel like it, which is going to be, honestly, it's going to be great actually just doing it when I want to, instead of when I absolutely have to. But I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get done from that. We'll see. Bear break. Yeah.
The doc.
I'll be trying to be relaxing, even though I don't know how to relax.
I get that.
So those of you who's been supporting me directly or indirectly, thank you. And I hope you do enjoy the already existing videos. And consider, for those creators who don't have the luxury of doing something else and getting another job or having the welfare systems to support you should you need it, like that I do, which I shouldn't be as stressed as I am, but my head doesn't really do what I tell it to. So yeah. But keep that in mind for other creators, that hey, maybe if you're able to support them, please do so, either directly through Patreon, or if you don't have any money to spare, watching an ad, turning off the ad blocker and watching an ad or two on the videos does help greatly. Not only because your view is then monetized, but also it helps boost up the video in the algorithm. At least that's my my tinfoil hat idea is that it is. But well, yeah. I'm gonna continue rambling and repeating myself if I end it here. So
I feel that.
Oh yeah. I do. One last point. I will completely understand if you don't want to support me on Patreon or directly otherwise anymore, when there's not going to be as much video content or content in general as you would expect. I completely understand. I'd appreciate it if you still stayed around, because I do like money. But I understand. And,
I like money.
I mean, you decide what's best for you anyway. So, but yeah, with that, thank you, and I'll see you around some other time. Good night.
I think that it's definitely a hard video for him to put out. And I like that he did put it out despite how just, what's the word that I'm looking for? I'm glad that he put it out despite how conflicted I feel he is. And that's not to like put words in his mouth. I feel this is a very hard decision for him to make, and one that ultimately took a lot of time, clearly, effort, feeling like he's letting people down. And I feel that the whole Patreon bit alludes to him feeling like he's let people down. And, that's not an easy place for people to be in. I think that he is a good creator. I think that he's put out quality work. I think that, let's say he takes a year off to work on his new thing, right? There's going to be people who still look at his videos and people who still come into it, right? And, I just wanted to make sure that I actually, reacted to this because I wanted to see what was going on. I wanted to help signal boost information, and I wanted to make sure to add, what 2 cents I had into it. Somehow this ended up being a 30-minute video, and I do apologize about 3xing the length of the video. He hits it on the head. Support the creators that you feel are worth it. That also includes him. That also includes watching through his Arma series again, or watching through his War Thunder series again, and making fun of Snazzy Wazzy, right? In a good faith manner, right? Adding a comment to the video, a like to the video, making sure you're subscribed, right? Channels, and I've noticed this with my own stuff as well, channels can be on a downward spiral. And sometimes all it takes is luck. I hate relying on luck factor. I think it's a really sacky excuse. I think that it is used as an excuse more often than not. But there is a certain level that luck does play into this. And if enough people, rally together, and enough people, say, wishing you the best, Nordern, on your new job, and, there's enough variation that it's clearly not marked as bots, maybe it can get pushed in the algorithm again. Maybe it could see a lot more success in the algorithm. It's a hard one. It really is. And ultimately, it's always sad to see someone go, or at least even take a hiatus, right? But as someone who does go through burnout myself, somebody who is neurospicy, I get it. I get needing to take that break. And, hopefully we see more of him in whatever capacity we can. You know, don't lament that he's gone. Don't lament that he's stopping, even if it's just temporary. Enjoy the time we had. Enjoy what work he's done. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I'm also not feeling like I'm adding to the issue, because reactions are derivative. They are. It's not a negative thing. It's you're using someone else's work and making sure you're pausing and adding commentary. You know, in a situation like this, it feels weird because it feels like I'm actively taking away from Nordern by doing reactions. But let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely go check out Nordern's video in the description down below, as well as his channel. Make sure you go send some positivity his way. Thank you, Nordern, for an amazing video. Thank you for the amazing videos. You've done a lot of really good content. And I'll see you all in the next one.